Hey everybody, welcome to Scribbles with Jonathan. I'm your host, Jonathan Rector. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. If you guys are on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, I'm assuming you're on YouTube because you're watching this video. But if you go to my website, right at the beginning there, right at the front page, you got all the links on the left there. And you can follow me on all those sites, DeviantArt, Tumblr, kind of post on that. But thanks for watching. I know this video is taking so long. I keep continually getting messages from you guys and ladies, which is awesome. Looking for this video. It took some time for me to, prepare, and I mean, this isn't going to be anything elaborate or anything, but to get a setup where I could actually record and talk a little bit more about this guy right here, which is the Cintiq. And this one's the 12WX. We call it. It's not the big guy. I'm going to get into some reasons of why I have this one and not the giant one that all the concept artists and all the professional artists talk about. But we'll get into that. I did post a video asking you guys to post some questions if you guys had questions about it so I could talk in this video. And I'll address that after I ramble a little bit about kind of like, I guess, a review on it. Maybe some of the opinions I'll have on it might sway you in actually making the choice or the decision yourself. I don't think it's mandatory to have a Cintiq. They are a little pricey. I'll talk a little bit about that. But before I get into it, I wrote down a little piece of paper here. Some of my computer specs for some of you tech heads out there that might be interested in it. I'm not a big into the the nitty gritty of the computers and all that good stuff. But what I'm using is a AMD Athlon 2 X3445 processor, which I guess is 3.1 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 4 gigabits of RAM, and Windows 7 64-bit. Other than that, you're on your own. I have no idea what else. Oh, I got the video card, ATI Radeon HD 5570. So some things off the bat. What I would think you would need if you are making the decision to get the Cintiq is you'll probably want a computer that's got some good RAM. I've noticed very little, if any, lag at all. And I have 4 gigs. A video card would probably be a good idea. The general setup of how this works is if you're only using one monitor, let's just assume that you just have a regular computer that an average person has. So that would mean your computer, your monitor, and that's about it. What the Cintiq lets you do is it acts as a second monitor, okay? So the first thing you're going to need is a video card that supports dual monitor setup. And it's pretty easy to find that out. I think it's pretty standard nowadays to get that. From what I'm aware, I don't think it's HDMI, at least the small guy that I have. So it requires, what is it called? Not VGA, that's the blue one. DVI, it's white. And it comes with a converter and all that good stuff in there. So if you only have VGA, it will support it with an adapter. I'm trying to get all the technical garbage out of the way and get into the artsy, fun stuff, the fun stuff to think about. What else did I need for it? Oh, I'll show you this. Anybody that's been looking around online and trying to pick one up, and maybe you've looked around for a bit, there's always like an ad that goes everywhere. It's called like the Magic Glove or something. And from what I know, it's not rubber. It's like a latex kind of. And the idea of it is that it's smooth, so that as your hand's going on the screen, there's no smearing. There's none of your oils are getting on there, and it doesn't muddy up the screen and stuff. I just did a quick Google search to see if other people like myself didn't feel like spending the 20 to whatever dollars it was for it. So I got these things. These are at a dollar store. Or wherever, if you've got Zellers, Walmart, if you're in the U.S., you probably got a Walmart and stuff. But they're just gardening gloves, and I believe the ones that I bought, they're maybe $1 or $2, and I got like 12 of these things. And all I've done, and I'll just put my hand in here so you can see it, I have two kind of styles that I go with. Just like that, where all I did was cut those fingers out, so that when I'm drawing, it's still smooth. Oil does come through the gloves a little bit, but it's really not that big of a deal. Once I start to notice it, though, it's not like you'll get streaks. It's not disgusting or anything. But you'll start to notice it. And all you do is you just watch this. This is the best part. Okay. Oh, man, it's so dirty. It's so gross. Brand new. That simple. Oh, man, they're so gross. In the wash. Not a big deal, guys. So there are ways to get around it without spending all that money. And here's another one that I have here. It's a little bit more open. This one's more for like if it's hot in the studio or whatever. The summer's coming up, so it's good to have your hand breathe a little bit. So it sags and stuff down there, but nothing. There's no drag. It doesn't get caught and stuff. So that's that. let's get into the fun stuff. Okay, so is it worth buying? If a couple things, are you a digital artist? Ever since I made the switch, and most of you guys and ladies that are following my Ustreams and stuff, live stream, watching the YouTube videos, I keep hammering about it. Where is it? No. Do I have the book here? There it is. This book here, again, the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics. I'm going to plug it again, even in this video. Changed everything I thought about how to do comics digitally. Made it totally acceptable. This guy works for DC Comics. He does not use a Cintiq. He uses, I believe, a bamboo. Basically, the cheapest one you can get. What I was using while I was learning, and that was the Intuos. And it's packed away. I'm not going to grab it out for you guys. I think it was Intuos 3. It wasn't even the newest one. The concept that I would like to pass on to you guys, and the book kind of talks about it, and it's important, okay? It's not the tool to get the job done, okay? It's you as an artist, okay? Outside of that, all tools can do are give you things. Speed, accuracy, inaccuracy if you're looking for that. What else can they give you? They can give you new experiences. Like, I just picked up a bunch of this stuff I posted on Twitter. You know, I'm going to try getting into actual inking. You know, inking with traditional tools. Not for my professional work, but for personal projects. But digital lets me do this kind of stuff differently. However, it's just a tool. You know, you got to find new things as an artist. So in saying that, when I was using an Intuos to get all the work done and stuff, it was fine. That delay that a lot of people talk about from drawing on a tablet to drawing on the screen, like your hand isn't there, it's here, right? So you got to kind of get a little disconnect in there. The biggest flaw for me over time that I was able to get over a little bit was that long strokes, long swooping lines, perfect lines that you could do with an eraser and a pen and a pencil and stuff, was very difficult. And in Photoshop, you're fortunate enough to be able to hold shift and click and kind of make it, you know, like a straight line, or use a pen tool, right? But I was able to do things. It wasn't like it was a big problem. It felt good. The only real reason I went with a Cintiq is I stumbled into some money, and as cliche and as weird as it might sound, it was one of those things where I thought to myself, okay, I'm in a position right now where I have some extra cash. And I believe these guys are like $1,000, maybe 1,200 Canadian. The big mofos, those suckers are like 20, the 21 or 22 inch ones. Those guys are like $3,500 around there. That's a big investment, okay? These small ones are an investment too. Let's not kid around. You know, $1,000 plus tax is some cash, right? But the way I looked at it is, if this could afford me one thing, just one thing, speed, would I be able to get enough client work to pay itself off over time? Now, not including outside sources of real life, we're just talking total, you're sitting down and it's drawing time, as much or as little as that is. I would say, hands down, the speed that this has given me is well worth the price. If you have that money to float around, if you have been thinking about it, if you continually looked at a link, saw an artist talk about it, tickled your funny bone, and then you left it alone. Then you came back to it, and you left it alone, and you came back to it. I would say do it. Okay? Now, I will say one quick thing here, but you didn't hear it from me, even though I'll say a friend told me this, okay? A friend told me this. If you're unsure, just go to a place like Best Buy or Future Shop, buy one, try it out for a couple days, maybe 29 days, and then return it to get your money back. And you'll know right then if it's something that you want to save money for, or if it's something that's, you know, I'm good with a bamboo, I'm good with an Intuos, I'm good with some other tablet, even if you're using like a PC touchscreen thing. I've heard people do amazing things with that. Good stuff. Another thing I wanted to say was, I was talking to a few friends that had owned this, and other people that do comic work, such as myself. And I'm talking comic work as in black and white, not really color, okay? Color is what I'm about to get into. Having the giant screen on the big guy, I think right now that I've been working with this for a few months, I would love to be able to have that big one day. And I will get that. I will make the switch, okay? I do not regret getting the small one, because these things can always be resold. They can always be reused. It's a fantastic tool. But the one negative thing that I heard a lot of people talking about was that the color quality in the digital painting wasn't so hot on the small guys. And from what I'm noticing is, when I turn it on the light isn't as ambient. It's not as rich. Those colors aren't there. If I move the screen onto my other monitor, which is somewhat calibrated for proper color and mostly for web, I can see that. I can see it right away. So knowing that might make you want to go, I don't know. If you're doing purely black and white work, like I have been doing for myself, hands down, I would say it's a fantastic purchase. I wouldn't go in debt for it. If you had the money, go ahead. If you had to skim off an extra, you know, sorry, no ice cream cones for you this month, just so you can save up to get it, I say it's a big deal. I think it's important. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. I mean, I'd hate to just finish this video, post it, and go, oh man, I totally forgot about that. But if you guys have any comments or questions, just leave it in the comment bar. I'll totally get back to you. You know, to touch on anything that I may have missed. Outside of that, I do have on the screen here, I'll try to read from here, some of the questions you guys had posted in that initial topic video that I had released before. And before I jump into that, one final time, I'm having a blast with this. It actually, okay, here we go. This is one thing I should have said, is I am actually able to do more things now that I can see exactly what I'm drawing. Most of you fellas and ladies that are drawing or inking with the regular real tools, if you want to call them that, when you have a piece of paper, or if you're a writer and you have a pen and paper, as you're writing, you can see exactly where, you know, the point of whatever you're using is on that surface. When you're using a tablet onto a screen, that's gone. All you can do is kind of see where that cursor is on the screen and try to get it to match what's happening. Take some practice, but you'll get used to it. With the Cintiq, literally, I plugged it in, set it up, sat down, calibrated it, and boom, good to go. It didn't feel didn't feel like there's drag, didn't feel nothing. It felt smooth. There were lines that may have been a little bit jaggy, but that's literally because it's that translation of what I'm doing to a digital medium. If you're using a pencil, you can kind of shade in a nice, you know what I mean? Like you guys probably know, let's say you're doing a cape, and you kind of gesture in the cape, and then you get more confident with it, and you start to get heavier and maybe even slower with that line to get a nice line, because you know when you ink it, it'll be nice, hopefully, unless you screw up your inks. I'm able to do that. Rendering feels much more easier, and if you don't know what rendering is like those little crosshatch lines or the shading lines. Detail work, I'm allowed, or not allowed, but I feel like I can do it with speed now. It's not like it's a chore. It's not something that, you know, when I was using the Intuos, I would have to like do some rendering and then like undo, undo, undo. New layer, make something, delete the layer. Now it feels like I can still make that layer to play around. It's not taking anything away. It's just giving me speed to, even if that drawing took an hour before, now I have 30 minutes I can finish that drawing, and then that 30 minutes is spent dressing it up. Big deal. Big deal. Especially, you know, deadlines are one thing, but if you don't have deadlines, you can just mess around and just get some good stuff going there. But anyway, so thumbs up, definite buy, absolutely buy, especially if you're into comics. If you're stuck with doing pencils and inks, that's how you prefer to make your content. I don't know if this would change your opinion, because I find that, at least in the indie market, or I don't want to say professional comics, but guys doing Marvel, DC, all that garbage, they're all moving towards like a Cintiq anyway, even if it's just for roughs and layout work, which is something else that's fantastic, which you could quickly do, print it out on a regular printer and light box it. That's awesome. But I find more indie people actually having a cool conversation, something that there's heads butting all the time. It's like, no, digital's better. No, analog with a pen and ink is better. And it's these worlds are just smacking. And some people are in the middle and they're like, you know what, who cares? Just let's get some cool comics out there. And then some people are like, ugh, I don't like that because it's digital. Or, ooh, you know, why don't those old school dinosaurs get into the digital stuff and, you know, get that speed that everybody's talking about. And that speed that I will quickly touch on, that was, you know, it's addressed in this book as well. When you're using a tablet, you know, there's no scanning involved, there's no printing, there's nothing. You can work at a 300 DPI image, which is ready for print. Very fast, quick changes if somebody needs to change and all that good stuff, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, let's get into some of the questions here. There's only a few. The first question is, where is it? Is it really more intuitive than the Intuos or not? Does Photoshop come with it? When I bought this, let me just double check. I don't think Photoshop came with it. There may have been, like, I think Elements. A lot of people talked about Photoshop Elements. Okay, here we go. Includes valuable software. Corel Painter Sketchpad for capturing and organizing creative concepts. Nik Color Effects Pro, doesn't mean anything. Wacom Brushes 3.0 for 81 customized brushes for use with Photoshop and Elements. Oh, I should check that out. Free brushes are cool. Other than that, I think the only real drawing software that you get out of the box there is that Corel Painter. So, no, at least in this guy, in Canada, where I got this, doesn't come with any software. Is it more intuitive? Hopefully in this video I haven't stumbled on my words too much, but it is dramatically more intuitive. How can I just visually show it? Let's say, okay, maybe this works. See if it shows up. Okay, there's your monitor, your screen, okay? Here's your tablet that you draw on, okay, your Intuos. So you're drawing, yeah, it's cool. And it's showing up here, but it's making its way there, okay? What the Cintiq literally does is this. None of this, it's there. What you're putting here is there. Just like if you were using a pen or a pencil. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. And then somebody was actually backing up some good points about it. Was no question, the Cintiq is the best way to go for professional digital art. And it works perfectly with both Photoshop and Manga Studio. And it speeds up his or her production with 50% versus drawing on plastic graphic tablets. There are also some great Cintiq alternatives, like the 19-inch, oh, I'm going to mispronounce that, Yanova. It's spelled Y-I-Y-N-O-V-A. And that's about $500. That's like half off right there. And that's even bigger than this 12-inch. That's actually something to consider for artists who are on a budget, which does just about the same. And I will point out real quick, what I think Wacom or Wacom, whatever you guys call it, why people go to that is because it's an industry standard, and they talk a lot about pressure sensitivity and 50,000 calibrations and all that, you know, mumbo jumbo. If you guys are just doing black and white art in Manga Studio, Photoshop, Corel Painter, Sketchbook, MS Paint, just black and white art, it's not going to matter the pressure sensitivity. That's why you can use a bamboo. That's why you can use certain things. If you're trying to get like really elaborate things done with color and pulling, then I think it matters more there, not so much when you're just doing black and white art. And that could just be for me, and if you guys are following me, you know the way I draw, so you guys can kind of see where I'm coming from in that. Another question was, with the nibs, do they wear down? And also, is there a lag when using the Cintiq? And if so, would the lag come more from the tower or the computer it's connected to rather than the Cintiq itself? And is the Cintiq more or less just a screen you can draw on, or does it boost your computer tower in some ways? Okay, so I'll just reread it. With the nibs, do they wear down? And nibs, if you guys aren't familiar, this is the drawing tool here. For anybody that has no idea, see if it's right there. Right there, okay? The nib is this part, the tip. Basically, like if you had a pencil or a pen, what's drawing, that's the point. That's the nib, okay? You can just pop this out and put a new one in here. This one's plastic, came with it. It's actually, you guys can't see it, but I can see it. It's rounding out now, more than it did when I first opened it up and cracked it out. They will wear down, just like if you use the natural tablet. If you wanted to prolong the lifespan of some of them, you could get a felt tip. It actually comes with a bunch of different ones. I've just used the default one. I think there's maybe 3 or 4. It could crack it open, but yeah, they will wear down for sure. But I've been using this one for roughly around Christmas, January, February, March. I'd say at least 4 to 6 months. I've been using it so far, and you know, it still looks fine. There's nothing there. So if you can pay $5 to get 4 pens in 2 years, you know, I mean, that's a joke. That's good stuff there. And also, is there a lag when using the Cintiq? And this pertains to your thing. If there is a lag, from what I've mildly researched, 100% it's from your own computer. So the more powerful computer you have, the better it is. I did use it on my netbook, and all that thing's meant for is a laptop to use the internet for people that just want to use like Facebook or go on Hotmail or something. Worked fine. Worked totally fine. Again, I was only doing black and white art. I think when I made a 300 DPI image, once I started getting crazy, it started to act up a bit. But usually when you zoom in on a 300 DPI image, for some reason it just feels like it's smoother. The more you zoom out, the lag kind of comes in. On my regular computer that I just read off to you guys off the top, no lag at all. Maybe I'll get a hiccup every now and then if like Twitter's open or, you know, somebody's messaging me on Facebook. It might be a little bit there, but it's not really noticeable. Nothing that a quick undo really can't do. Nothing that's devastating at all. And no, the Cintiq does not boost your computer in any way. All it is a monitor that you can draw on. That's it. That's all it is. And I believe just one or two more questions. I read somewhere that there's a slight offset between the stylus and the pointer near the corners of the screen. Is that true? Actually, okay, that's a very good point. That was one of my biggest fears was, let me see if I get a nice shot. Okay, if you guys can kind of, let me just look over here. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, this, like all the corners of the screen. Oh my goodness. Okay, all of those. Yes, once you start moving your stylus down towards there, the cursor does start to drift a bit. Not a big deal once you realize it, and it's nothing that'll go, oh god, it ruins the entire experience. It really doesn't. If you can't use just that, but you can use all of this, you're fine. You're fine. You just zoom in, zoom out, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And like I said at the beginning, my friend told me that you could pick one up, try it out, and then maybe return it. See what you think. Also, does it eat up a lot of resources? Do you notice any lag? No, I think I kind of touched up on that. And then the very last question is just a software question. Do I ever use Manga Studio? I do use Manga Studio, not as much as I was around Christmas time. I do plan on getting to it eventually, but right now, even though I've been messing around with Manga Studio and I have a lot of great positive things to say about Manga Studio, I try to promote when they have the sale and stuff, and I suggest a lot of people do pick it up. Photoshop is doing things that I still can't do in Manga Studio that I like in my art. And that will be another video that I will get with you guys, is my pros and cons between the two. I don't think one's better than the other. Again, just like the Cintiq and the Intuos, the Bamboo, it's just a tool. Gets you to where you want to be faster. Lately, if you look at my guys' art, I'm trying to get a more clean, outline around everything, that kind of thing going on. And not going to get into it. That'll be another video. But thank you guys so much for your time. I hope I answered some of your questions, and if I left something out, please leave a message in the comment. Email me at jonathan_a_rector@hotmail.com if you guys want to talk to me directly. I'll try to get back to as many people that have any comments or questions, but I'm happy with this purchase. The speed it's given me, and I don't want this to sound like an infomercial, but it has changed. Basically, if I had never even met an Intuos or a Bamboo and just went from paper to ink to a Cintiq, night and day. It wouldn't even be. It would be natural. It would be normal. There wouldn't be none of this fear from working from that disconnect from an Intuos that a lot of people do have. That stigma that's on there. But that's about it. So thanks so much for watching. Talk to you guys next week. We'll have a new video up for you. And take care. Keep making comics. Keep reading comics. Keep sharing the videos. And if you share this video, thank you for that. That's you guys are great. And thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.